Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Rangers Shadows of Almia. In the last episode, we did a bunch of quests, got a new partner Pokemon, etc, etc. In this episode, though, we take a boat to the Haruba Desert because, well, that's the way to get to the Haruba Desert because we've never been there. Can't fly there, but we need to go there to check up on Keith. He's taking quite some time defeating the Gem Guardian, getting the yellow gem. We need it so desperately, so here we are in the Town Harbor. It's time to talk to Captain Haruba. It's a good thing that all these captains are named after, you know, the places they're supposed to go. What a coincidence that they would choose these professions. Or maybe I guess they just changed their names. I don't know, but talk to Captain Haruba, and it's time for another boat ride. It's been a long time since we've been on a boat because, well, we usually don't have to go on a boat anywhere. The boat is usually replaced by the bird now, considering we can fly anywhere. But nope, new area equals new boat ride, but because it's a new boat ride, well, we're not going to make it to Haruba Desert today, actually, guys, because there's a certain conflict going on here. Remember the time we had to go underwater? Well, it's time for us to do it again, because something's going on under the ocean, and as a ranger, it's our duty to find out what. I mean, saving the world? Ha! We don't need to do anything of that, although, in the end, this actually does tie into everything, as, you know, all good video games do. So, instead of us going to the Haruba Desert, today we're going into the sea to discover what's distressed down there. It's gonna be quite salty, indeed. But that means we're gonna finally get to see our old water Pokemon that we caught underwater, because they will actually still be here with us. As you can see, we have these three, including the Sharpedo, which is Crush 4. If you want to head back up, you can also come back here and we'll hop on the boat and he'll take you back to the shore and be like, it's too salty. Do you want to head back? Well, we don't want to head back. Let's head back in here. Yes, I wanted to stare at your sexy, sexy face, Captain Haruba. You are my one true love. Anyways, so it's time for the Sea of Wailord, and we're going to find out what's here. But note the fact that I had that Crush 4. Actually, it's going to be something that's important in the long run, but there's ways around it for the future. You're not required to get that Sharpedo, but it'll let you get something now that you would have to get later instead, which is a thing. Also, Horsea. It's our first new water Pokemon here, and it blows bubbles. That's basically all it does, is blow really slow-moving bubbles. If you're careful circling around it, you will not take any damage. If you aren't, well, you'll take 1 damage, because it doesn't do much damage, considering we have Water Defense plus 6, which is going to be really handy here to have, because that 6 defense basically means, hey, we're really not going to be taking much damage here today, and it's kind of nice. So, lots of new Pokemon. They actually do some really interesting things with these new Pokemon as well. Most of them won't actually be too powerful. They'll be more powerful than the Pokemon we have, because we were doing these back when like One Crush was a thing. But we have interesting Pokemon like this Gorebyss, which is using moves more reminiscent of a Psychic type Pokemon, and that's because actually, for the sake of this game, even though it's a Water group Pokemon, it actually classifies as a Psychic Assist. Because I guess they're just giving you different assists you can use underwater, because, you know, using water against water isn't really the most effective thing in the world. So they kind of mix it up and give you some different options, but in the end, I mean, you're not getting anything super effective anyway. There's not really much that is super effective against water in the first place, because it's grass and electricity. The grass assist is terrible, and the electric assist is nice, but the only electric Pokemon that you can think of would be a Lantern, and that's, or a Chin-Channel Lantern, which is more for recharging, because, well, you need one of those underwater as well. So watch out for the Tentacruel. He'll do his little silly dance and try to sting you with poison. It's all sorts of unpleasant, but you can dodge it by being a gentleman and scholar. Surprisingly, not a poison assist. I was actually expecting it to be a poison assist there. However, it's a lot of experience, so I guess if you need levels, there you go, but we don't really need levels. Now, the Pokemon that's going to be the most important as we're going through this area here is the Huntail here. This Pokemon will be the one that we're going to be capturing over and over again for its Pokemon power. And you'll see why very shortly, but interesting enough, he uses a bite, and he also uses this move, which you'll recognize as a dark type thing. Just like Gorebyss, basically Huntail is a dark type assist in this game. Interesting. That being said, you know, dark just kind of gets rid of bad things, so it's not really even that good anyway. But it is a Crush 3, and that's actually really important, so don't really need the Horsea. Don't really need the Gorebyss, don't really need this, just don't really need most of these Pokemon. I'll keep the Chinchou just for an extra heal, and the Sharpedo obviously, but we mostly need the Huntail, and that's pretty much it for now. So, there's also a Lantern here, so that's also another new Pokemon. We'll go ahead and capture that one as well. And from there, well, we'll have a much better recharge, which should be on par with the recharges we've been using lately, which will be handy to have. So make quick work capturing that lantern, and in case we ever get ourselves in a spot of trouble, which is more than possible because you can take some decent damage in this area for two specific reasons that we will go into as we explore the undersea ocean here. But soon we're going to learn the reason why we're down here, though. In fact, we should any moment now as we head to the left here. And here we go. Turns out that there's some shenanigans going on. This Wailord's been captured, and this Wailmer is quite upset. So this Wailmer, or the Wailord, that's why it's being so distressed here. It's captive and suffering. We have to save it by breaking these sinister beams that are locking them down. And as you can guess, oh, by the way, us being a top ranger, we decided this is a really important, I mean, it's a Wailord in trouble. It's a really important mission, so it's time for a new mission, guys. A little unexpected mission here. Rescue the Wailord. So there's 4 of these things. All of them are Crush 3, hence why Huntail is so important, because it fits the bill perfectly, and we'll see plenty of Huntail along the way. And we need to crush all 4 of these, but who could possibly be doing these nefarious things and trapping the Wailord? Who would dare do such a horrible thing to the wildlife? Oh, I don't know. You know, possibly Team Dimsun? Yeah. So apparently they want the Wailord to replace their cargo ship that we sunk. Well, we stopped your first cargo ship. Let's stop your second one as well. So, our mission, destroy all 4 of their capture devices, and we'll be good to go. But of course, along the way, Team Dimsun, it will be putting up quite a fight with their underwater marine unit here. So, today we have 2 Horsea and a Sidra. Sidra is a Pokemon we haven't seen before, but we just caught Horsea not too long ago. As usual, group capture, we'll see if we can get all 3 of them at once, but this one, because of the way these Pokemon work, it might, ooh, barely dodged that one there. It might end up being a bit more effective just to try to capture them all, or do one separate and then capture the 2 together, or just capture the 2 Horsea together. Because they're draining really fast. I've lost all my power here. You know what, we're gonna do that. This one's separate. Oh, well, these 2 are separate. Let's get them both. Yeah, unfortunately, when you get situations like this where they give you a group of Pokemon that are relatively new, and actually have relatively decent health, not to mention relatively quick ability to desync, or to basically, you know, run out of, or to reset their health, there we go. It becomes a pain in the butt to capture more than 2 of them at the same time. That's why, you know, get rid of 1, focus the other 2, then enter the group capture bonus. In fact, I don't think I even dropped my line there, so we should get a fairly substantial bonus. That's 1,000 experience there. Nice. So, as you can see, Seadra is a 3 soak. Not that there's any reason to soak anything underwater. Doesn't really seem to make much sense, but it's there if you need it, I suppose, for reasons. So, well, I guess you can go cry because I am better than you. So this Wailmer here is just like, I'm a Wailmer, help me! He's sad and worried, and that Wailord is having a whole bunch of trouble. You can't even touch on that, you can't even tap on that Pokemon, it's so big. And in case you're wondering, yeah, we're not gonna ever have to capture something that big. That's just not gonna ever happen. So we have another, capture thing here. In case you're wondering, the reason you can't progress until you capture another one is because you can't get past this line here, just due to the way things mysteriously work, I suppose. So shoot yourself over here. Another Huntail will be over here, so capture that because obviously we're going to need to use that to capture what we need to capture. So get that out of the way. Circle, 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 and we can then progress forward. So luckily nothing here is too tough to capture, at least nothing that's required. So just keep up the captures, possibly even level up before we have to finish the mission, I'm hoping. That could be a cool little perk, and we already have a lantern. And it turns out, well, we have another 5 Team Dimsun member. However, interesting enough, you can be like, are you gonna interfere? Nah, I don't want to interfere. Okay, well, see you later. So if you say no, you just kind of get automatically sent back here and kind of stuck in an infinite loop because you can't even go back the way you came until you fight him, so I mean, that's why they have the lantern there, I suppose. I mean, hey, I forgot something. I forgot to kick your butt! That's right. That's right. Come face my power. Oh, wow. A bunch of Finian. I am terrified of these Finian. Oh, man. Be a shame if I capture them in 2 loops. Yeah. On contrary, the Pokemon that we caught way back when will just be a cakewalk now. So, and they also won't be worth anything for experience. That was almost like 8 times less than the previous one. Just kind of silly. But, oh well, that's the way things go. Finian escape, and well, looks like it's time for us to break one more of these capture devices. I think your superiors will probably care that you let your machine get broken, but you know what? I don't care, because I have a Huntail. Don't use the Sharpedo on these, there's plenty of Huntail around. Like I said, the Sharpedo will actually have a use before this episode's up, so keep that in mind. We will go ahead and break the machine, and from there, we wait for the super long cutscene of everything breaking, and second target destroyed. Basically, there's 4 quadrants to the Sea of... Well, actually, there's more than 4 quadrants, but basically, there's 4 sections here. Obviously, there's going to be one in each section. I'm going to go ahead and capture this other Huntail, because we're going to want an extra Huntail at some point anyway, for reasons. So, just going to... While this one's really close by, let's go ahead and capture another time. Do your weird darkness thing, which it doesn't even make... Can Huntail even learn Dark Pulse? Maybe? I don't know. I'm very unfamiliar with Huntail and Gorebyss' movesets because they're just Pokemon I would never use and never really have had the inclination to use because they're just kind of weird. But, I suppose it's a thing. So, with that, we can actually head upwards now. Accidentally run into a Gorebyss because it was camping out in the water there and I didn't notice it. Alright, Gorebyss, if you really want me to capture you and then release you in 2 seconds, I suppose I will just have to oblige you. Oh man, thank you for your free experience, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, the sea isn't too tough for now. It's about to get a little bit more interesting very shortly. A very strange little section that you'll see soon enough. So let's head northwards. And we don't really need that Seadra, we just captured that earlier in this video, so we have no reason to capture it again. So for now, we're gonna want this Mantine for obvious reasons. I mean, it's a Mantine. Always come in handy. In fact, if you ever have an extra Mantine from the first section, keep it, because having 2 Mantines will save you a little bit of backtracking. Well, I guess not really, particularly, just because you need the Mantine for something that you can't get now anyway. Slight spoilers that we'll see later in this episode, but, whatever. It would have been handy for me. Oh, well, those look like hypnotized Pokemon. That looks like a Team Dim Sum member. I guess we're gonna have to battle again. Alright, so we got 3 Starmie who want to wrestle with us, I suppose. But, they aren't too tough for now. Starmie's actually a very tough Pokemon, but the Starmies that you fight here are actually somewhat nerfed, as we'll see later when we actually capture Starmies. But watch out because they shoot psychic balls everywhere, which makes them quite a huge pain to capture. They also reset their power really quickly, so you get hit like this, be quick to capture them again. But they're easy for now. I guess they're nerfed when they're in a group like this, but they will be a bit tougher when we see them later on. So I guess sometimes Pokemon are actually slightly easier to capture when they're in a group. I actually wasn't aware of that until I had the Starmie here, because you actually need to capture a bunch of Starmie to get through this area for reasons that we'll see soon. So, because it's a 3-cut, and we're actually going to need that 3-cut quite often. So, it mentions that you need to go on a Mantine and get around Quillfish while riding a Mantine. Interesting. How does that work? Well, unfortunately we can't get up here, so, because it's blocked, so the only way to go now is to the west for a very interesting section that you will likely take a lot of damage in, because it's a little Mantine riding section, but it's no ordinary Mantine riding section. Like you said, there's Quillfish everywhere. We caught them before, so we don't need to capture them. If you run into them, you'll take 3 damage. So, basically we have this interesting sort of section where you have to maneuver around all the Quillfish here and try to take as less damage as possible, even though they throw really rude traps like that in your face. This will just take us back to where we came from, so we don't want to head that way. This one's kind of a reset area that'll bring you back here if you screw up later on. So dodge the moving Quillfish. Ow. Like I said, you can rack up a lot of damage here if you're not careful. Those and the Starmie, those are the 2 reasons that you'll take a lot of damage. So as you can see here, that'll take us back to where we came from. So the trick that we need to do here is you need to get in this thing, dodge that Quillfish. Okay, that didn't work really. I forgot there's a Quillfish in the thing just to make things even more rude. But you want to do that, head into this little patch of open space here, ride this one upwards, and then you'll be at the end. So, very tricky section, especially with that Quillfish in the middle that can completely throw you off if you hit it, so you get a little bit of recoil. But if you maneuver it expertly enough, you'll come face to face with the Team Dim Sum member again. He'll be just like, oh, well, crap. We rode that Mantine without a mini Remo, and, well, we made it through here successfully. So, once again, we have another one of these devices here we need to deal with. And, we also have a Seadra. Okay, hi, Seadra. Don't really care for you. I do want to get this Huntail at some point, though. So let's quickly grab the Huntail, try to remember there's a Sidra about to mob my face, and try to avoid said Sidra because it will try to mob my face. And I do not Ooh, I didn't charge there. There we go. Do your darkness. Thank you. Now get caught. Oh, really? Come on. Let's not botch this too much, Lucky. Come on here. There we go. Dem some pretty loops there. Just doing all the loopy-loops things, and it's wonderful. So, extra 250 experience will be enough for us to get a level up, which negates all of the damage we took in the Qwilfish Maze. I forgot about the Seadra. Well, shit. Okay, well, you know what? This is a chance to show off Seadra potentially doing something new because it's not in a group, I guess. Yeah, okay, so it also does bubbles like this when it's not in a group. So, like I said, I guess they have not necessarily as much variety of attacks when they are separate or when they're in a group like that. I don't know. It's interesting. That makes them that much harder to capture, so it's not really that big of a deal in the end. I don't need these two. I need all of the rest, though, so yeah, that sounds about right. So 2 Huntail, and then these over here, this thing blocking that, that's a cut 3 there, so we're going to need to capture some Starmie at some point in order to deal with that. In fact, we'll actually have to capture a couple because there's another cut 3 thing here. Luckily for us, there's a bunch of Starmie over here, so let's go ahead and, well, capture some Starmie. And then from there, we can capture a few other things and kind of wrap up this section. We're getting fairly close to the end here. Ooh. Yeah, it also has that attack now. That's the attack it didn't have when it was in a group. It can do the spins. You can see it does these attacks fairly quickly. You have to watch out for the psychic balls because, okay, that's not gonna... I couldn't close the loop there. As you can see, it's already falling off really fast. So Starmie are actually surprisingly difficult because you have to kind of dodge the psychic balls, immediately dodge the spin attack, which sometimes you can't even do properly, as you can see. And then its health goes down really quickly after like half a second. So Starmie are tough, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Beware the Starmie, they can sting. So now that we've taken care of that, we actually need to go get a second one. Oh joy. Unfortunately, that current's going against us, so we can't skip anything by going down there. We need that Starmie. So let's get that Starmie. And like I said, we need 2 because there's 1 barrier down there, there's 1 barrier up there, so on and so forth. I know I'm going to run out of Pokemon Room, but I have a Chinchou, which I will use to heal. Hopefully I won't be taking much damage here, though. So far, looking decently good here. I can dodge this, and then there we go. Staying directly above or directly below the Starmie is your best bet because the Psychic Balls won't hit you there, as long as you don't have any exposed area. And from there, you can easily continue your charge-captured loop there, and that'll help you out. So we'll use the Chinchou to recharge here. No harm, no foul. Bring us back up to full health after we've captured some of the more difficult Pokemon we have to capture in the ocean. And here, we're at the part where we need ourselves a Sharpedo, because that requires a Crush 4. And, well, luckily we have ourselves a Sharpedo to do that with. And we can actually explore that area up there, which is going to be used for a quest later on. I'm just going to spoil that now. But there is 1 new Pokemon we can capture up there while we're up there, so we'll deal with that first, and then we'll deal with other stuff later. For now, though, we have an Omanyte, which is always, or Omanyte. I guess there's no R there, so it's more of an Omanyte. Basically, we have, you know, the Helix Fossil, Praise Helix, etc., etc. Insert Twitch Plays Pokemon reference here. Oh my goodness. So 2014 going on right now. So 2014. So we're going to head down here quickly and uncork this thing for the reason of getting a Mantine. Also, we're going to be assaulted by a Tentacruel quite rudely. Sir, this was highly unnecessary for you to assault me. I don't approve. Do your little dance. Get down tonight, sir. Get down. Oh man, I lost my charge capture. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and get back now. Because as you can see, without having your charge capture on, things take forever to capture. That double damage is actually worth quite a lot. So, do your little dance again. Oh, Tentacruels are weird in this game. They are very, very weird. Alright, well, let's continue to make forward progress here. It's looking to be a long video as it is, so let's not get held up too much with stupid stuff like having to get rid of all these Pokemon I caught. Luckily, we're almost done capturing Pokemon, so I can avoid most of the rest of these here and speed through the rest of this section. So first of all, we need to get that Mantine down there, so let's uncork the other end of this pipe so we can then go back, and that'll lead us right out to where the Mantine was. We don't actually need the Mantine right now, it's not going to get us anything, but it will show something, it'll show us, and do it for demonstration purposes, essentially. You'll see what I mean in like 2 seconds, but you don't actually need to get this Mantine now. That being said, uncorking that thing now will save you time in the future, so there's no reason to do it, because otherwise I'll have to go through the Quillfish Maze again. And do you really want to go through the Quillfish Maze again? Ask yourself that. Do you really feel mentally prepared to do a Quillfish Maze again? I, for one, do not. So let's not do that. Let's capture the Mantine. Well, let's uncork the end, basically. It's worth it. Anyway, because obviously the only way to get back up there, if you have to come back here for, say, a quest, would be to have to go through the Quillfish Maze otherwise. Tentacruel, listen, I don't want you. I've made that quite obvious, so back off. Thank you. I could have done the Starmie thing there. You know what? I think there's a Starmie. Actually, I think there's a Starmie up here anyway, so I'm not too worried. But we're actually going to need 2 Starmie here, just because there's going to be yet another grade up here that we need to deal with. But I do believe there's a Starmie up here as well, so I should be able to... Yep, there we go. I can get around that problem, and all is well. So we'll go ahead. One last Starmie here, which is a pain in the butt, but we should be able to handle it. Which way are you facing? Oh, I couldn't. I cut my loop a little too short there. It didn't quite work out. Oh well. Let's see what we can do here. It's going that way. It's going to stop there, and now we can go ahead and finish the capture. So I'm learning how to anticipate these Starmie. It's working out a little bit better, more and more. Is Starmie a Psychic type or a Water type assist? That's a good question there, because that would have been a good Psychic type assist to use, but... Oh, there's another Starmie. Please don't assault me. So Starmie is a Water type assist. Interesting how they do that, even though it's actually a Water Psychic Pokemon. So that was a good opportunity for a Psychic assist, but no, they gave it to Gorebyss for some reason. Sure, you know, you have your opportunities here, but oh well. So here we have an actual chance to capture the Wailmer, because the Wailmer over there by the Wailord is not capturable, but it's visible, which means it's a Pokemon you have to capture at some point for your browser, which means we have to get it here, basically. It has a lot of health, and it releases these pulses that are fairly wide in radius, so you have to dodge that while dodging the, Ooh, barely getting around that there. Oh, I'm, like, circling this, like, counterclockwise. It's so weird. But, yeah, dodge the pulses, keep up the pressure, and eventually you'll get yourself a capture here. Ooh, there we go. Oh no, crisis. Crisis, I say, crisis. We almost had that there. Oh, it was almost so perfect and beautiful, but no. But no, it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. Anyway, that'll be the Wailmer. It's a decent amount of experience, especially if you can, you know, not screw up like I did. But either way, it's how you get a Wailmer. What was it again? It was a 2 tackles, so it's kind of worthless, but there's also a section you can ride a Mantine here with, which ultimately will lead you to absolutely nothing, but keep this in mind, because this section over here is where it basically goes to. It's the other end of a current here. There's absolutely nothing here for now. Later on, that won't necessarily be the case. God damn it, Tentacruel. Really? You're really gonna do this? Well, if you insist. I suppose I will have to oblige you with your silliness. Alright. Come on, Mr. Guy. I'll deal with your stupid shit. Alright, there we go. There we go, we're done with you. I mean, it's a little bit of extra experience. I won't mind, because it'd be nice to get a level up sometime soon, but... Well, I'm not gonna get one anytime soon, but it'll be nice to have that level up primed and ready to go for later on. So, we're gonna have to get a Pokemon. No, we're actually, I guess we have a nice set of Pokemon here ready to go for some reason. But for now, all we need to do is head to that other grate and see what's beyond that, because the end is fairly near here. All we need to do is use the Starmie here that we caught. The Starmie. The Starmie. Well, I'm not going to get the Starmie from that angle. There. Wailmer? There we go. Starmie. Did that really have to be so difficult, game? Did that really, truly have to be so difficult? Apparently it did. So we capture that. And what lies beyond is this, remember that mission? Oh wait, there was a Huntail right there all along. Well, that would have been easier to have if I had that, but I'm not the ranger from that cargo ship. No, not at all. I've done nothing wrong. So you can head here, by the way, if you ever want to rely on a current back for some reason. But no, I am in fact the ranger from the cargo ship, so let's go ahead and... Yeah, of course I am. Do you not recognize me? I kicked your butt. So we get a little sob story here. When you bailed from the ship and swam, they saw how good they swam, they forced her into the marine unit. So now she has to swim underwater all day, and it's all our fault. She wants revenge, and she sends a Huntail and a Gorebyss to exact revenge on us. But luckily for us, they're both fairly easy captures, so we won't have too much of a problem here. Just charge up, and they're grouped nice together for where they were for a moment. Watch out for the... There we go. With that attack coming, and then get them both, and with that we'll be able to get a nice chunk of experience here and continue making progress forward because we have just 2 more to go, and we have 2 Huntails, and luckily for us these 2 things are pretty much back to back, so we'll actually be able to take care of this fairly easily. So, breaks the machine, a Pokemon scatter, and yep, you lost again. Sorry, kinda kicked your butt. Come back next time. Don't be a villain. Kind of will help your situation. So we'll go ahead, use the Huntail, break this machine. With that, we have 1 more left to go. But like I said, it's not too far off, so we'll finish this episode. We'll save the Wailord, finish the episode, and be good to go. So only 1 capture machine left now. Let's go get it. Let us go and get it. And it is, in fact, right here. We're back at the very beginning of the area here, but you can see yourself a nice Kingdra there. You can imagine it may actually be boss time. So yeah, we're just doing the capture one. Yeah, this Wailord's gonna be free. I'll save ourselves. No, we don't. I'm not gonna. Oh, well, I'm a coward. Bye. Actually takes you all the way back through the tunnel if you choose to be a coward. So it's kind of funny, but let's not be a coward. It's fun. It's interesting to see the conversations that they say when you say no. Also, if you want to like be an idiot, you can go that way and end up back at the very beginning and then have to make your way back here all around here. I'm not a coward. I'm gonna kick your butt. Screw you, man. So he sends his Kingdra at us. It's time for a boss battle. Luckily, it's not like a super boss. We just get the normal Team Dim Sum boss battle music here. It's not even like a super boss. It doesn't even get like its own portrait. So it's a mini boss, I guess, of sorts. It'll do the usual Horsea Seadra bubble thing, and it'll do its usual spray as well. So the usual sort of status quo for a water type Pokemon. It's a fairly easy capture, and then it'll also do the Shockwave. So just watch out for the Shockwave. It's the 3 exclamation mark thing, and then it just kind of repeats its pattern here. And ooh, I didn't notice that bubble there. As you can see, though, with the Water Defense 6, it does 1 damage only. So in terms of like actually getting hurt and having to be scared, no, it's not that big. Okay, that Shockwave does more damage, but even so, you can see like compared to Heatran, this thing is not really doing too much damage for us. It's a mini boss, really. It'd be nice if I stopped taking damage like a doofus, though. That would be helpful, to say the least. But alas, I have not. So, I mean, if you're really struggling for some reason, you do have a Psychic Assist in Gorebyss. I froze that thing in a really strange pose there. It looks so tiny. But that was a boss right there. Easy peasy. It is worth a 4 Crush if you ever need another 4 Crush. And it's also a Dragon Assist. I mean, it is a dragon, so that's not too surprising. Get the usual massive bonus for it being a boss. Not quite enough to push us to another level, but we'll just get another level in like 1 or 2 fights next time, so it's no big deal. And with that, well, we've defeated Team Dim Sum. There's no, yeah, the sea was too salty is not an excuse here, sorry. So no cargo ship for you today in the form of Wailmer. Alright, Mr. Guy, let's free you. And with that, our mission has been a success. So our undersea adventure is complete. A nice little diversion, I suppose. A nice little chance to just go underwater and actually fight Team Dim Sum in an underwater battle, which is kind of cool. But with that, the Wailmer is free, or the Wailord, sorry, is free. And, well, we've been successful, so... Hello, Mr. Wailord. How's it going? How does it feel to not be chained anymore? I bet it's good. So, the Wailmer, also very happy that we, I guess, freed his daddy, or husband, or I don't know how this works, but we freed his daddy. I'm gonna go with that. So, everyone's nice and happy. And interestingly enough here, because Wailord's so big, it becomes friends of us, and it actually just gets a free entry into our browser. So, because, yeah, we're never, ever, ever, ever looping that thing. It's huge. It would be a cargo ship, essentially. However, Team Dimsun is not going to end this without a fight of sorts. If they can't, you know, if they're in trouble like this, they're not gonna play nice. They have to improvise. If they can't get a Wailord, they're going to take a Wailmer instead. A bit small for a cargo ship, I would think, but it's a Wailord Mini. Yeah. You know that's never gonna work, but unfortunately, if they're ridiculous villain logic, they're going to brilliant. Really. So they corner us and prevent us from stopping them, and then they steal the Wailmer. I'm gonna confuse these two all the time here. And well, our mission isn't quite done yet. We've saved the Wailord, but now we need to save the Wailmer. The Wailord, though, is furious at the loss of his son, drags us along with him, and we're going on a bit of an adventure. Not heading to Haruba Desert instead, but, well, we're heading to someplace far more sinister. You hear that music. You see that name. It's time for us to tackle a Team Dimsun base. A Wailmer's in trouble, and we are the only ones who can save it. So, what's gonna happen? Well, we're gonna find that one out next time, guys. LuckySevenDX signing out. See you all in the next exciting episode of Pokemon Rangers Shadows of Almia, where we take the fight to Team Dimsun. What's this oil field hideout mean? What are we going to learn? Well, it's gonna be interesting. See you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.